Hey, what's going on, guys? Blackbird here. Today I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about the ceramic coating that I'm putting on my bike, which is called Hockasy. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. Bought it on Amazon. I also spoke to you guys last time about wrapping my bike in XPEL. Here I got the bottom half of the tank wrapped. I don't know if y'all can see that in the thing. It also got a little bit of the gas tank cover. Here in the front, we ended up getting the full batwing fairing and then the bottom, or the front half of the front fender. It looks shiny, as y'all could see there. Yeah, that's all I got done. I was initially going to I was going back and forth between getting the saddlebag lids and the saddlebag sides and the gas tank. I don't know. I went back and forth on it for a little bit, and I decided that getting the front fairing done was probably the most important thing due to rock chips and stuff. I think I spoke in my last video about I was going down the highway on my way back from the XPEL shop, and 18-wheeler was quite a bit ahead of me, and a huge rock jumped off his tires, and I barely missed it. It came bouncing down the road. So here I'm just showing you guys a little, I guess not necessarily a time lapse, but the video of me going ahead and putting on the ceramic coating on the back fender only. So what I did do is I took off the saddlebags and the side covers, and I went ahead and put those inside so I can go ahead and wash them individually and put the coating on inside. Obviously the rear fender you can't easily take off. I did take off the seat. I had to fix my LED lights. For some reason, every time I turned on the bike, the lights would just start flashing on them, and I wasn't 100% sure what was going on, so I decided I needed to investigate further, and sure enough, it was just a bad connection. I'm glad it wasn't the box, the power distribution box, but it was the ground where it connected to the battery, because I have it connected directly. The ground clamp, or the crimp, came loose, so anytime the bike would vibrate, it would like come in and out of contact with the battery. So I was just getting flashing lights constantly, and it was pretty annoying. I couldn't even turn off the lights because they would keep resetting, so it was pretty annoying. Kind of embarrassing too, driving down the road and they start flashing. Possibly illegal. So I got that fixed. I re-crimped it, put it back on. They worked fine. So that's why I had the seat off initially, and then all the gunk under the seat on the fender, I was like, you know what, might as well go ahead and clean it and get the ceramic coating on in the rear. So the way this ceramic coating works, you get like a little sponge with it, the applicator sponge, and you go ahead and you wrap it in a cloth, a tack cloth, and it tells you to put about 4 drops, but then the other instructions also say to put as much as possible, or as much as needed. And so when you initially go, you want to make sure that your surface is completely clean, because this seals in any imperfections you have. Unfortunately, I mean, my bike already has a little bit of swirls and some other marks on there. Also important to note is that you must clean any old wax you have on there off. So I did that with some rubbing alcohol, or with some isopropyl alcohol. I went ahead and rubbed and washed off the leftover wax I had on there. So when you're applying it, you go ahead and it says put as much as needed, and then you go ahead and go in one direction. I think I started off vertically going up and down, and then after you complete that section, you're to go the opposite direction and go horizontally. I guess that's to go ahead and make sure it gets into all the cracks and grooves and everything. And then this is where I got confused, because it had 2 sets of instructions for some reason. And one set said to let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes and then go ahead and buff it out with a microfiber cloth. Then the other one said to immediately buff it out after the cloth, or after you apply it. So what I went ahead and did on this rear fender is I immediately buffed it out, and then on the pieces that I have inside, the saddlebags and the side covers, I let them sit for just a little bit, slightly. I would apply it to one side cover and then apply it to the other, and then I would go back and buff the first one and then buff the second one. It worked out nicely. They all look really good. The only issue I did have was my microfiber thing sucks, and I don't know if it left more swirls or if I just hadn't noticed any swirls. I also haven't seen it in direct sunlight because I did the rest of it, the saddlebags and the side covers, fairly recently. It was about 8 p.m., so it was already dark outside. So I haven't seen the bike in full view. I'm hoping that it came out really nice. Inside they looked really nice. But I mainly wanted to talk to you guys about the XPEL wrap that I've got done to the bike yesterday. So obviously this isn't going to be a full review. I'll go ahead and get back to you guys with that. But initially I was scared on having it done because the guys there did say that bikes are kind of hit or miss due to the intricate curves that they have. And I mean, this Street Glide isn't too bad. I'm sure if you get something like a Ducati or anything else really, I would assume it'd be a lot more difficult. But I was worried about the front batwing fairing. So in the front fairing, it has 3 different pieces, and you couldn't see it in the video, but there's a line where they had to seam up the pieces, and that's where I was super sketched out about. But those guys here at XPEL Austin, they did an amazing job. They you can barely tell it's there. I mean, when you're in direct sunlight, obviously you can see it, but it's not that noticeable at all. There was a little bit of bubbling. They did say that within 72 hours all bubbling should be gone, and they said that I could not wash it for 48 hours. I did not get the rear fender done, so that's why I'm doing that on the ceramic coating. So the good thing about the XPEL, from what I've read and what they were telling me at the shop, is you can immediately go ahead and put ceramic coating on it. And I know a lot of people are worried that when you do a paint protection film and a ceramic coating on top, that you lose the self-healing properties of the XPEL wrap. But from what I've been told and what I've researched on my own, is it should be able to go ahead and maintain those properties with the ceramic coating. Although if you scratch it or something, you have the chances of scratching off the ceramic coating. But as long as you don't ruin the paint, then I'm all for it. So I'm thinking about doing the rest of the bike later on. The reason I didn't get the saddlebags, I rarely kick the top of the bags when I kick my leg over, but sometimes I do. It depends on what I'm wearing. If I'm wearing my boots and I'm not remembering that I wear my boots, because usually I wear my tennis shoes, which is super bad and I don't condone it, I will end up kicking the bag. But other than that, I'm usually pretty cautious of where my foot placement is. But the reason I did not get them done was because I intend very, very soon getting the 6x9 lids from Advan Black, and then going ahead and getting the stretched saddlebags. I don't know if anyone has any experience with those. I don't know. I'm always a little nervous buying new products, especially when, you know, they're kind of expensive. And Advan Black doesn't really have a strong Amazon presence, which is where I like to buy a lot of my stuff due to the easy nature of returning it and all that. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wait, look at more reviews, see if any of y'all have any experience with them, and then I'll go ahead and just pull the trigger on it. But I don't want to lower the bike, but I do want to upgrade the suspension and get the Legend suspension with the external reservoirs. Personally, that's a look that I just like. The function obviously is going to be a plus, but for me, I like the look of the external reservoirs with the stretch saddlebags and the speakers. I just want my bike to be more obnoxious than it is now. I have my neighbors complain consistently about my bike whenever I leave in the morning, and I voice to them kind of nicely that, I mean, it's my transportation, that's how I get to work. It's unfortunate that I work at 6 in the morning, but it is what it is. I don't sit out there and rev it at 6 in the morning and try to wake up the neighborhood. I turn it on, let it heat up, and then I go ahead and get going. So very conveniently, I have the Cobra Neighbor Hater exhaust, so they don't like that very much. I think here I'm actually wearing my Neighbor Hater shirt. They walked out when I turned on the bike and they waved at me, so it wasn't terrible. Oh, actually, I'm not wearing the Neighbor Hater shirt in there. This was before I took my shower. Don't know if that's gross or not, but I had just came back from work and this was my way of relaxing. I'm sure a lot of y'all can sympathize with that, but yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the ceramic coating and the XPEL wrap. I will keep y'all updated on the XPEL wrap. I'm going to go ahead and do a review video once it settles in. And the same thing with the ceramic coating. So apparently the ceramic coating is supposed to sit a few more days. I think it's up to 4 days to achieve its full gloss. But here, as you can see, I am really impressed with how it looks off of the initial pass. And apparently it's only supposed to get better in the upcoming days. So I'll go ahead and keep you guys updated with that. And with that, I'll leave you guys be. This is Blackbird. Y'all have a good one.